Hey, love. Today, it's a whole mood. We're doing a full self care glow up. Yes, we are in a total glow up over 50. We're going to talk about hair today. We're going to talk about makeup. And we're going to talk about walking this weight off, okay? Oh, and you want to stick around for this. I found the most amazing condo in Midtown, and it's the perfect city retreat. You got to see it. First up, we're going to get this hair together, girl. Wash day is like a reset button for me, but I swear, these hot flashes be flashing. Got me sweating even before I get started. I got a fan on deck all the time, y'all. If you ever had hot flashes in mid-beauty routine, drop a fire emoji in the comments for me, girl. Because, geez, it takes me forever to get ready. Before we jump into the makeup, simple, effortless, and glowing, right? That's our goal. Because looking good should never feel like work. Speaking of making life easier, let's talk about making money smarter too. I spent over 25 years in real estate, and I've helped agents, brokers, and investors create thriving businesses. If you've ever wanted to get into real estate, whether as a side hustle or a full career, my real estate success guide will show you exactly how to do it, girl. Keep watching. I'll break it down. Okay, I put on my eyelashes. I'm coming up on my year anniversary since I started tretinoin. And I know that there are a lot of questions about it. And it's just amazing. It will transform your skin. Because I use tretinoin, you also have to keep in mind that you'll need to add additional moisture. I added hyaluronic acid, and I added some nighttime serums. I added hyaluronic acid, and they have my initials on them because my daughter and I use the same products, and she gets all wound up when I use hers. The audacity of her. Like, you've been using my stuff like forever. Since birth, before I birthed you. Anyway, I digress. We're gonna stay focused, ladies. But these 20 somethings. And then I use the vitamin C Biossance, and I use that at night. And so that gives me additional moisture, which with my regular primer, what that was doing was leaving my face very oily. So I had to switch over to a hydrating, mattifying primer, and I use the Sephora Pure and Clean and Pure. Sephora Clean and Pure. Let me see if I could get that in there. And so I love it. You can actually just use it as a moisturizer, and then you can also use it as a primer. I've switched over to some different makeup cases. I love my vintage my Louis Vuitton collections. And so this was one of the makeup cases that I use. I also have the travel case and a ton of other makeup case accessories. They just don't travel as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that on my trip to St. Croix. Some of the items that I've started using as a result of that trip, because I just need to be able to grab and go, and I ain't got time for all this high maintenance stuff. They need to be packaged a certain way. I'm limited on what I can put in them. They take up a lot of space, and we ain't got time for that. For my makeup brushes, I think it was $13. And then I transferred over to this kind of grab and go case. And so all of my foundations, powder, contour, concealer palette or palette that I use. All of those things fit inside the case, in this little makeup case. So I'm going for easy. And then it packages really well inside of the suitcase. I use a cream concealer. I use an orange concealer for dark spots. And so what I learned was that I was using the liquid orange concealer, and it just wasn't enough. I had to go with the opaque, the heavier cream, to give me better coverage. And so no matter how much liquid I used, I could still see the dark spots. No bueno. The dark circles, rather. And it also helps with dark spots. So you can apply it anywhere where you have dark spots. Because I've been on tretinoin almost a year, yay! I don't have very much hyperpigmentation anymore. But I do put it around my lip area, and then I have moles. This is the MAC 2705 brush. I love this brush because it mimics your finger. I used to love to use my finger to apply my concealer, but it just gets messy because, as you can see, the brush turns orange and it gets really messy. To apply my highlighter, and I'm going to show you kind of what I do with this. And so I apply it right on the brush, just you know, I just need a little, and I just apply that. Okay, just ever so gently, and I let that sit. And usually I use a different brush because then I can take that brush and use it to define my brows. So I did not use my brow gel yet. I use NYX. So I just apply a little bit of pressure and push up, and then brush over it just to make sure that I don't leave excess product. And so I'm just going to define the brows. I like the liquid better, I think. This was my go-to for years. I use the cream. But it's going to be fine today. Gonna brush all this in. And you know your girl starting to sweat. Oof. I keep this close. I keep this close, ladies. Close. Oh. Apply translucent powder. I mean, it's the only thing that keeps me from sweating. Usually I apply it on my brows and my nose. I sweat on my nose and my brows. Use some setting spray. Let that dry, and then I add my and then I add my foundations. I do a 7-day challenge next week. We're all gonna get on a live. I'll get on a live 7 days for next week. starting Monday. Go live 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just raw thoughts here. We'll create a challenge for every month, and we'll focus on skin, and we'll focus on hair, and we'll focus on weight loss and the accountability. We'll talk about mindset. I'll drop a poll in the community, and then you can also drop thoughts in this video on what you'd like to talk about, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about real estate. I'm a real estate broker. I have been in the real estate industry for a really long time. I don't even want to tell you how long. But I've been a top real estate agent for an incredibly long time. I stepped away from real estate for about a year. I actually stepped away from everything while my daughter was in her recovery from the accident that changed our life. And the reason I mentioned that is during that time is when I started my YouTube channel. And I dialed all the way in once she was, I was home with her every day. And so once my mind was clear and she was very stable, then I was able to kind of start that journey. I also wrote a real estate agent success guide, and that guide will walk you through getting a license and then how to build, brand yourself, and blossom year to year in real estate. And those are skills that you can apply to any industry. It's how to brand yourself, how to market, how to network, how to get plugged in with social media. And it's not a long read. It's like 36 pages. I get right to it. And it's designed, I wrote it for women. Anyone can apply those concepts, but I wrote the book geared to empowering women in real estate. Okay, I got appointments, so I kind of have to hurry this up because you know your girl can be long. And so I contoured, hold on, I'm losing track of what I'm doing. So contour is done. And the last step that I actually have to make time for, because I haven't done this in so long, is that I have to make time to curl my hair. Like, OMG. I love the fact that it's growing. But I gotta make time for that. So then I've done contour. Lighting isn't that great here. I add a fine mist setting spray. I'm a little bit inflamed. You can see the red here. It's that season. And then once this dries, I got my fan. Get a fan, y'all. Get a fan. So this dries, and then I apply my powder foundation for finish, just to make sure I don't have any harsh. We're gonna jump into hair very quickly. I'm gonna take a little hot off the press Paul Mitchell heat protective spray. And so I have this very cool device that it's a mount. Isn't this great? And I can pan without needing a human. Look at that. Get you one. Get one. Get it. Do it. Buy it. Yes. Do it. And so it's great when you can get support and help, but that's not always feasible. And so look, here I can pan on my own, up and down, left to right. Look. And I'm moving and panning and moving and panning and panning and moving and moving and panning and moving using the remote. Look at that. This is amazing. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, it's that exciting.
Has a rescue formula.
As a leave-in treatment, as for heat protectant, and it's very light, and my hair is very fine, and it doesn't weigh it down. So the other products that you saw me use is amino acid treatment. My hair is just different as a result of it. Yes, protein is important, but we also need amino acids. And you can actually have too much protein in your hair and it causes the hair to pop. The other thing that you know that I do, I also use MSN. And so that actually thickens the hair and reduces shedding. So these are all the things that we're going to talk about. And I just know a little bit. I know a little bit. And there are others of you that know a lot. And this will be an opportunity for you to share with the group and share with other ladies things that you do know. Because we're glowing up together. We're doing this thing together. And then we do a check. Love this mirror. Oh my God, isn't this mirror amazing? It's a barber mirror. Every time I go in and see my stylist, I'm like, where did you get that? Where did you? He's like, Trisha, you don't need any more gadgets. Yes, I do. I need stuff. And so I actually went over to the barber supply store off of Howell Mill and picked one up the same day. It mimics the Mac. It's not, but it kind of mimics that square Mac. Mirror, which I want so desperately. So if there's anyone with Mac on here, I need a mirror. I need a mirror. So the last step, and so this is it. This is going to have to be the hair for today. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll take my little Scully, if I have time, and I will actually just put it on for about 5 minutes and just smooth everything down because it's satin lined, right? So I love this thing. And so I'll take it and I wash it very frequently because it stretches out. And then I'll let this sit while I'm doing something else, and then I'll take it off and everything's kind of in place. So I know it looks crazy, but it works. And then I'm going to show you kind of like, see how it just kind of smooths everything. And that wasn't even like 5 minutes. So it just smooths everything. Right? Did you see that? And then, of course, I'll fix the part. And that's it. I mean, literally. I feather, my hair just feathers naturally, and then I'll do the edges and that's it. That's it. So I'll see you later. Y'all know I had to check out another luxury condo in Midtown today. And let me tell you, this one is giving city luxe goals girl. Let me know your thoughts. Would you live here? Drop a heart in the comments if it's a yes. And don't forget, if you want to get into real estate, whether it's selling, investing, or just learning the game, grab my real estate success guide today. Well, that's a wrap for us today. Hair, check. Makeup, check, check. Hot flashes, triple check. We're walking the weight off, doing it all. Over 50 and fearless.